You're watching Michael's Basement Review, brought to you by GeekMontreal.com. Howdy, ho, everybody. Sorry I wasn't there last week, but I was just too busy, and I'm really tired. Whatever. All right, so, how did this fare? After a very disappointing run by Grant Morrison on the regular Batman series and a controversial death in a controversial main event in Final Crisis, how does Grant Morrison redeem himself in Batman and Robin? And the answer is yes. New villains on board, and this is where Grant Morrison's bizarre outtake on life really kicks in a very positive way. It's a scary new villain. His name is Pig, and he turns people into dolls. It's an original look on it, and the new dynamic duo of Nightwing and Damian work really well. It's like characters that I'm interested in following. It's kind of like Batman Year One-ish kind of thing, but the art spectacular. This is a redefining book. If you don't have it, run to the stores, pick it up. If you swore off Batman because of Grant Morrison, this is his redemption right over here. Everybody should pick up this comic book. It was absolutely fun, spectacular. I can't say enough good things about it. All right, Amazing Spider-Man Part 2 of American Son. Now, a lot of people, I've been blabbing off about Amazing Spider-Man, and they jumped on the arc, the previous arc with the new Vulture. That wasn't really a strong point. You know, it's funny. The Amazing Spider-Man is kind of like the weather. Someone else said, I think this is Dan Slott who said this. It's kind of like the weather. Wait 5 minutes, and it'll get better again. American Son is a very interesting, fun arc in the Amazing Spider-Man series. They deal with continuity issues, the new Spider-Man going undercover and infiltrating the Dark Avengers, and there's a whole bunch of other spoilers in here. If you haven't been reading this is a great time to jump on board. Even if you're not a Spider-Man fan, this will probably make you like the issue a lot, and you can see why Peter Parker is better off being a single character. I was really opposed. I grew up with the marriage, and now that he's single, he's a more fun and interesting character. That's not to shit on anybody who's in a relationship. I'm in a relationship. I like it better being in a relationship. However, for people I follow to entertain myself, I like them single. All right. Best line of the week, Mighty Avengers. Dr. Henry Pym is telling Dr. Reed Richards, it's on, bitch. That's a direct quote. My geek senses went, oh, geek sense. And you see a really good portrayal of Dr. Henry Pym when he's losing it. Like, you know, that's what he's known for. Sorry about that. He's not Mr. Cool. He's a fuck up. And he was just being rude to his teammates, not thinking clearly, not, you know, taking a breath and calming down and relaxing. He wasn't very nice. That's all I have to say. All right, but it's a great book to read. And Mighty Avengers by Dan Slott. You know what? It's a great. I don't want to say it's the best Avenger stories, but it's classic Avenger stories with a great twist on it, and it so revolves around the Marvel universe, and you know you feel that that's an Avenger book. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, Exiles #3. I was really pumped with the first 2 issues, and this issue not so much. You know, it was very foreseeable. Nothing really dramatic happens, and everybody's okay in the end. So this wasn't as interesting as the first issue kicked off. It kicked off with a big bang, and it's kind of just slowing down. And if it continues, I think I'm going to drop the series. So, and the same thing for, well, even New Mutants #1. I didn't even know what the hell was going on. And New Mutants #2, I'm infinitely that much more lost. So that is out the door for me. But if you like it, man, props to you. Okay, someone's been going around the internet saying Immortal Iron Fist is going to be canceled. I follow news around that religiously and comic book resources as well. I have not read any such things, but I can tell you what is going to be canceled. It is Captain Britain, MI, and the MI-13. Now, this series is really good. The annual, not so much. I mean, it was a good, solid story, but from a comic book that delivers just absolute perfection, this was kind of a letdown. 2 stories in here. I didn't like that as well. If it's going to be an annual, it might as well be a big story. It's the revival of Megan and where she's going to be in the series later on. So, I mean, this is going to be important to the last story arc that they're involved with. But yeah, but it's a bummer. You know, I remember when I told you to stop sending tea bags and just buy the damn book. You should have done that. I'm going to send a tea bag. Brr. All right. Secret Six. Okay. Gail Simone is, I would have to say, shitting the bed in Wonder Woman. I picked up a couple of issues. It was kind of fun, but it wasn't her best stuff, especially when you compare it to Birds of Prey, which is just phenomenal. Go out, pick up the trades if you haven't picked that up. And Six is just fantastic stuff. It's gory, it's violent, it's fucked up. These characters are evil people, and the book really explains that well. And the people that they fight against are extremely evil, and the people that they get hired by are even more evil. So it's just a really gritty tale about humanity and fucked up people. And do you really want your heroes to be bad, disgusting individuals? You kind of do. I don't know. At least I do. So if people aren't reading this and they are fans of Gail Simone, this would be a really good point to jump on. Death's Part 1. It's the beginning of a new story arc, so that's the time to do that. New World of New Krypton. This really, Robinson is making a very slow and steady, solid book every day. Like there's, it's just staying on par, and it's fantastic. The Green Lanterns inspect their planet. General Zod acts like a douchebag. Criminals escape. Kal-El teams up with Green Lantern. They don't fight. That's one thing I fucking can't stand. Hey, look at this. There's a fight between Hal Jordan and Kal-El. Nope. Anyway. Ultimatum, number 4. What can you say about this? Yeah, Jeff Loeb hasn't been writing... hasn't really been doing anything that good lately. I don't know. Shame, because he used to be a fucking amazing comic book writer. And I'm just not really impressed by it. I mean, it's just the destruction of the Ultimate Universe as it is, and that's anything can happen. That's what makes it slightly exciting, like who's going to die. But here is an interesting comic book. Brian Michael Bendis is known for the best dialogue in comic books. So he makes his final issue of Ultimate Spider-Man totally silent, which was a strange decision. I mean, it was still a good book, but I would have preferred if there was actual talking in it. There was a couple of points where I would have liked to hear what they're saying. Not the best move. It's such a weird way to end it, too. There's an interesting Brian Michael Bendis interview, whatever, or him just ranting at the last of this. What a crazy run. I had the whole thing, man. But I'm pissed that they decided to start a new one, but whatever. I'll get over it. Dark Avengers number 5. This is an interesting look into the psyche of Norman Osborn. And this is where you can tell Bendis' dialogue kicks into high gear. Zeus, Ares is trying to regulate the team, and some two people get up to some naughty shenanigans, to play the kissy face and the bed stuff, to do that. But yeah, I mean, it was a good in between issue. It was cool. I was actually freaking out if Sentry was going to lose it. They had this moment where Sentry was not right in the head, and you know what? This is the first time I actually see Sentry going somewhere with that character. Like they never really explored that he's crazy. They're really taking the time to do that right now. So it was a good week. I enjoyed it. It was better than last week. Last week was a lot of comic books, and I really got stoked to look at them all, and I was like, meh. But anyway, what can you do? Kudos.